We're now in Singapore and our first stop is having chicken rice at Boon Tong Kee.
Hello, this is our second stop to check out the famous Cheddar Box chicken rice at the Mandarin Orchard Hotel. Welcome to the third episode of Byby Mymy cooking show. We are in Mimi's kitchen again.
As you can see, Byby and I just recently visited my hometown in Singapore and we tried some chicken rice. So I'm going to cook some chicken rice today. Are you going to be cooking something from your hometown as well?
Yes, I'll be making one of my childhood favorites, this red noodle, or rice drop noodle as you would call it here in Australia.
What's the original name?
Lao Shu Fen is called in Chinese, in Mandarin. So we'll see if you like it too.
Okay, and at the end of the episode, we'll be reviewing the 2009 Dom Perignon champagne. Okay, now we're going to poach the chicken, and in order to poach the chicken, we need to have a stock pot that is big enough to put in a whole chicken. I would suggest using a chicken that's around 1.5 to 2 kilograms, and you need to put enough water to cover the chicken. In this case, I used about 3.5 liters of water, and I'm going to add in 1 cup of Shaoxing wine, and I have a bunch of spring onions, just the green ends, 1 knob of ginger, roughly sliced up, and 3 cloves of garlic, also roughly sliced up. Now, I think it's the right time to reintroduce the concept of agak-agak, which we brought up in our first episode. So it's a concept of estimating by feel or by instinct. And
guesstimate.
That is, guesstimate. It's a very common way of cooking in Asian cooking, especially Southeast Asia, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So we bring this to a boil. After rinsing the chicken, I will get out as much fat as I can from either side of the cavity and save it for the rice. Okay, so once the stock has started to boil, I'll put in the chicken and let it get back to a boil. And once it starts boiling, we'll turn down the heat to the lowest heat possible with the lid closed on the pot, and we'll simmer that for 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, turn off the heat and leave it to steep for a further 20 minutes without lifting the lid. In the traditional Singaporean chicken rice, there are usually 3 sauces that accompanies it. First is the chili sauce, the sweet soy sauce, and the ginger sauce. The ginger sauce is something that is often neglected when chicken rice is served outside of Singapore. So I'm going to show you how to make the ginger sauce. So roughly cut out some ginger and a little bit of the white ends of the spring onions. Put it into a blender. Add some flavorless oil, such as rice bran oil, and a little bit of sesame oil. And then just turn on the blender. Add some salt. Stir it through. And then cover it with the rice bran oil. It is ready. We take it out of the stock. This is a little bit tricky sometimes.
Wow.
Drain out all the fluids in the chicken and put it into an ice bath.
So why do we need to do this ice bath thing?
Okay, there are a few reasons. Firstly, you want to stop the cooking so it doesn't become overcooked.
Okay.
Secondly, you let the fluids set when it's in the ice bath, and then it will form those jelly in between the skin and the
is that
flesh.
how you get them?
Yes, and also it makes the texture of the skin really nice and chewy.
Silky as well.
Yes. Okay, so leave it in here until it's fully cool. And in the meantime, I would reduce the stock by half and then you get a really nice soup afterwards.
Okay.
Now I'm making the rice. I start off by rendering the chicken fat as much as possible. And then I add in 3 cloves of chopped garlic. Okay. And then I add in 3 cups of rice, which I have already washed. So what you want to do is let the rice get coated with the chicken fat.
And the heat is quite high as well,
Yeah, high to medium, so that you can render out all the fat. And then this is my little trick. You know how I made the ginger sauce earlier? I just add in maybe 1 heap tablespoon of the ginger sauce. I know a lot of people just put in like pieces of ginger in there, but I like using the ginger sauce. I think it gives it more flavor because it's all minced already.
Okay.
So it goes through the rice much faster. So once the stir frying is done, I put the rice back into my rice cooker pot, and then I fill it up with the stock that I've made with the chicken. And then we add a few pandan leaves in there for additional flavor. And then once that is done, we just put it into the rice cooker and let it cook. Okay, so now I'm going to cut the chicken. I like to cut the chicken in a way that is boneless, so it's easier to eat. And that's what they do in some places in Singapore. So I'm just going to slice it.
Can you show me the jelly?
There, you can see a little bit there, under the skin. There's some jelly there.
Wow. So that's due to the ice bath
It
that
is.
we have.
Okay, and now this is, so 1 portion of chicken with the rice, and then we can top it up with some sauce. This sauce is just made of some light soy sauce, sesame oil, and the stock. And then you serve it with the 3 sauces. All done. Byby, you forgot to say where your hometown is.
Oh, I'm from Mymy, Sarawak, east side of Malaysia. So to cook this dish, we will need some 300 grams of pork mince, 1 tablespoon of minced ginger, and 1.5 tablespoon of minced garlic, some salt for seasoning, and 1 teaspoon of this 5-spice powder. So we'll just heat up the pan for now and heat up some oil, cooking oil. So first we just need to fry the garlic and ginger, so then to have the fragrance release. So cook this on maybe medium-high heat, so it doesn't get burned too quickly. And with this pork, I actually marinated with 1 tablespoon of cooking oil and some cornstarch in there. So
So why is there cornstarch and cooking oil?
if I have cornstarch in there, it will give that silky texture to the mince. And with the cooking oil, it's just to lubricate the pork mince, so it's easier to
So it doesn't stick together?
Yeah, it doesn't get stuck, and it will be easier to move around in the pan. So as you can see, the ginger and garlic has started to golden up. Yeah. So we can add our pork now. And also breaking it down a bit, and then we can put our 5-spice in now as well. So the pork mince are cooked, so they look golden, and looks like we are ready. So now I'm trying to prepare this rice drop noodle. So I reckon the best way to do it is to just leave it out to room temperature a little bit before you cook them. And I have a pot of boiling water, I'm just gonna let this sandwich in there for probably a few minutes until they separate from each other. I reckon about 3-4 minutes should do. We'll come and check on this later. So the rice drop noodle is ready now. I'll just show you how to make the dressing. The essential ingredient here is this shallot oil. So probably a big tablespoon of these, or if you call this a tablespoon, just agak-agak again, hey?
I love shallot oil, so can you put more please?
Oh, you can put it on later.
Okay.
We're
Save
quite
some
health
for me later.
conscious here. And then 1.5 tablespoon of light soy sauce. And 1 or 2 teaspoons of chili oil, depending how hot you like it. And 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. So that is pretty much the dressing. And then you will just tip this in. And then mix it a bit. And then we can just top it up with the pork mince that we have prepared. Do you like this vintage bowl? Do you still remember?
Yes.
And
We bought it in Yogyakarta, right? In the markets.
yes, with quite some effort, and garnished with some spring onion and this very important white pepper from East Malaysia.
Her hometown.
Yes, I think that's ready.
I'm quite excited to taste the 2009 Dom Perignon, Byby.
Oh, me too. Since we're going to Albany this coming weekend, should we just do our review of the Dom while we're there?
Oh, this is a very good idea. Okay,
Let's do
do
that.
that. Cheers, Byby.
Byby. So today, we're drinking the latest release of Dom Perignon, their 2009 vintage. So what do you think? What's your first impression of the wine?
Well, the color is quite pale, which is quite interesting for a wine that is 9 years old, and it is quite refreshing as well. It has notes of peaches and a little bit of citrusy notes such as grapefruit, and the mousse is very fine, very subtle, but not dying at the same time.
So actually what intrigued me the most is that this is a 4-gram dosage wine, and yet the acidity was well balanced and relatively full body and quite fruit driven as well, I find. So I thought, could that be due to the hot summer in 2009?
Yes, I think so, and it brings out the stone fruit flavors in the wine as well. And I think it finishes with some sort of minerality, a little bit, very slight bitterness that is very nice. And I think that is due to the Chardonnay grapes, right? And it finishes quite long as well, which is very nice.
Yes, I like the length. It's constantly present, but it's not
Yes.
overpowering.
No.
I find.
Yes.
Yeah, so what do you think is the food that will go well with this?
I think some sort of seafood cooked or grilled in butter would be very nice. It will match very well.
Oh, so what about our Byby Mymy second episode?
The marin roll?
Yes.
I think that matches
will match
perfectly.
well. Okay.
Alright, cheers.
Cheers to bubbles.